The studio lights shimmered like midday sunlight, bouncing off the polished glass desk at the center of the Good Morning America set. The live audience buzzed with anticipation. It wasn't every day that Michael J. Fox appeared on morning television, not as a nostalgic icon, but as a man with something to say. He was there to promote his new documentary, a deeply intimate film about aging, resilience, and finding peace in a body that no longer obeyed him. It was meant to be a conversation about truth, not spectacle. But the energy in the room suggested otherwise. Michael Strahan, charismatic as ever, opened with his trademark charm. Michael J. Fox, everybody, legend, inspiration, and one of the brightest spirits in Hollywood. The crowd erupted in applause, many rising to their feet. Fox smiled politely, dipping his head, but his expression was subdued, the kind of polite gratitude you offer when you've heard the same words too many times before. "Thanks, Michael," Fox replied, his voice warm but weary. "Good to be here." Strahan leaned in with that easy, confident grin. "Man, I gotta say, it's incredible to see you still out there, still fighting, still inspiring people. You're like the definition of courage, man." Fox chuckled softly, though it didn't quite reach his eyes. "I appreciate that," he said. "But I don't think of it as fighting. It's just life. Some mornings are better than others, that's all." Strahan nodded, trying to keep the tone upbeat. Sure, but you've got millions who look up to you. People say, if Michael J. Fox can stay positive, I can too. You must feel good knowing that you're giving people hope." That was when something subtle shifted in Fox's expression. His trademark smile faltered. "Hope's a funny thing," he said slowly. "It can lift you up, but it can also make people expect things that aren't real." Strahan hesitated, his grin flickering slightly. "What do you mean?" Fox leaned forward, his voice quieter now, his words more deliberate. "People see the highlight reel. They see the speeches, the interviews, the smiles. What they don't see are the hours I spend shaking, the moments I can't move. I don't want to be anyone's symbol of perfection. I'm human, that's all." The audience fell into a hush. The producers, watching from behind the cameras, exchanged anxious looks. This wasn't the feel-good morning segment they'd planned. Strahan tried to pivot. "I get that, man. But your new film, it's so powerful, so emotional. You're showing people that optimism is everything. That no matter what life throws at you, you can smile through it." Fox gave a small, almost pained laugh. "That's not what the film is about, Michael. It's not about smiling through pain. It's about accepting it. It's about showing that it's okay to not be okay sometimes." Strahan's charm faltered. He glanced briefly toward the audience, trying to recover. "Right, of course. But people love your positivity. I mean, you've always been the guy who lights up a room. You're Marty McFly, man." Fox's eyes hardened just a touch. "And that's the problem. People want me to stay Marty McFly forever, young, unstoppable, full of energy. But I'm 64 years old now, and my life doesn't look like that anymore. And that's okay. It's just real." A few people in the audience clapped softly, unsure if it was the right moment. Strahan, now visibly uncomfortable, tried to steer the conversation back to safer ground. "Hey, I totally respect that. I just think the world needs people like you to remind us that even when life gets tough, we can still." Fox interrupted gently but firmly. "I'm not here to remind anyone of anything. I'm here because I made something honest. But I can't keep doing interviews where people turn that honesty into another motivational quote. That's not what I'm about." Strahan blinked, clearly taken aback. "Hey, man, no disrespect. I'm just trying to celebrate what you've done." "I get that," Fox said calmly, "but sometimes celebrating someone means actually listening, not packaging their pain into something uplifting." The silence that followed was thick enough to touch. Strahan's practiced smile froze in place as he realized how far the moment had drifted from the script. The teleprompter kept scrolling, but he didn't read it. The air between them crackled with unspoken tension, respect and misunderstanding colliding in real time. Finally, Strahan chuckled lightly, trying to diffuse it. "Well, I guess we hit a nerve there." Fox exhaled, straightening up. "No nerve, just truth." The crowd murmured uneasily. Strahan nodded, forcing composure. "All right then, let's take a quick break." Before he could finish, Fox slowly stood from his chair. The sound of it scraping the studio floor echoed like thunder in the silent room. He looked at Strahan, then at the audience. "I think we're done here," he said softly. "Thank you." Gasps filled the studio. Strahan froze, speechless, as Fox turned and walked off the set, his steps deliberate, his dignity intact. The cameras cut abruptly to commercial, and behind the scenes, chaos erupted, producers scrambling, assistants whispering, Strahan rubbing his forehead in disbelief. But Fox didn't look back. He had said what he needed to say. And for once, he hadn't sugar-coated a single word. The video clip was only 30 seconds long, but it spread like wildfire across every corner of the internet. By noon, the words, Michael J. Fox walks off Good Morning America, were trending on X, Instagram, and TikTok. Viewers couldn't believe it. The beloved star known for his humor, patience, and grace had stood up mid-interview and calmly walked off live television. Comment sections split instantly. Some applauded him for speaking his truth. Others said he'd overreacted. But one thing was clear, everyone was talking about it. Inside the Good Morning America building, chaos reigned. Producers huddled behind closed doors, publicists fielded frantic calls, and Michael Strahan sat quietly in his dressing room, replaying the segment on his phone. The look on Fox's face just before standing up stuck with him, not anger, not ego, but a kind of weary disappointment. It wasn't the outburst Strahan had expected, it was something deeper. Meanwhile, down the hall, Michael J. Fox sat alone in his own dressing room. His tie was loosened, his posture slouched. The muffled hum of voices and the occasional burst of laughter from staff outside felt distant, almost unreal. He wasn't angry anymore, not really. He was simply drained. He had spent a lifetime trying to make people laugh, to comfort them, to reassure the world that he was fine. But in that moment on live TV, he had realized he wasn't obligated to keep pretending. His phone buzzed nonstop, texts from his wife Tracy, his team, friends, and reporters begging for a comment. He ignored them all. For a long while, he just sat there staring at his reflection in the mirror. His hands trembled, the familiar tremor running through his arm. He steadied it with the other hand, sighing quietly. "They'll turn this into a circus," he muttered under his breath. A soft knock broke the silence. "Michael, it's Strahan. Can I come in?" Fox hesitated for a moment before answering. "Yeah, sure." Strahan stepped in cautiously, the easy confidence from the set now replaced by uncertainty. He closed the door behind him, leaning against it for a moment. "I just wanted to say, I didn't mean for things to go like that," he began. "I thought we were having a real conversation. You kinda caught me off guard." Fox glanced up, meeting his gaze in the mirror. "You caught me off guard first," he said, not unkindly. "You wanted the feel-good version. I gave you the real one." Strahan let out a short laugh, shaking his head. "You're right, I did. That's on me. Morning shows, they want light stuff. People tune in with coffee in their hands. They don't want to hear about how hard life really is before 9 a.m. Fox turned his chair around to face him. "Maybe that's the problem. People only want honesty when it fits their schedule." The two men stared at each other for a long moment. Strahan sighed. "I get where you're coming from. But, man, the audience loves you. I was trying to give them the version of you they've always loved, the guy who smiles through anything." Fox's voice softened. "And that's what wears me out. I've been that guy for 40 years. Everyone wants the smiling version of me, not the one who shakes, or gets frustrated, or wakes up scared some days. But that's the version that's real." Strahan nodded slowly, understanding dawning in his eyes. "Yeah, you're right. Guess I was thinking like a host, not like a human being." Fox cracked a faint smile. "It's okay. We've both been doing this long enough to know how these things go." There was a pause, quiet, respectful. Then Fox added, "I'm not mad at you, Michael. I'm just tired of being edited down to a headline." "I get it," Strahan said, extending his hand. "Still, for what it's worth, I've got nothing but respect for you." Fox shook his hand, the tension between them finally easing. "Same here." When Fox finally left the building, paparazzi were already waiting outside. Flashbulbs exploded as he walked toward his car, security guiding him through the chaos. Reporters shouted questions. "Michael, are you feuding with Strahan? Was it staged? Do you regret walking off?" He didn't answer a single one. He climbed into the car, shut the door, and stared out the window as Manhattan rushed by. Later that afternoon, his publicist released a short statement. Michael J. Fox remains committed to authentic storytelling and open conversations. Sometimes honesty makes people uncomfortable, but that's where truth lives. The internet exploded again. The clip racked up millions more views. Hashtags like hashtag respect Michael J. Fox and hashtag let him speak trended worldwide. Celebrities chimed in, some praising his courage, others calling for more empathy in media interviews. Fans flooded his social media pages with messages of support. You owe no one a smile, Michael. Thank you for showing us the real you. The following morning, Strahan addressed the situation live on Good Morning America. The set was quieter than usual. He looked directly into the camera. Yesterday, things got a little tense between Michael J. Fox and me, he said. I want everyone to know, I have nothing but admiration for that man. Sometimes real conversations aren't comfortable, but I think that's what makes them important. His honesty earned applause from the studio audience. But even then, the story refused to die. News outlets dissected every frame of the encounter. Body language experts weighed in. Pundits debated whether Fox had been right to walk out or if Strahan had crossed a line. Yet amid the endless commentary, one simple truth stood out: Michael J. Fox had not walked off in anger. He had walked off in honesty. After decades of being seen as a symbol of courage, he had finally chosen to remind the world that courage isn't about smiling through everything. Sometimes, it's about standing up, speaking your truth, and leaving the room when the conversation stops being real. In a world obsessed with sound bites and happy endings, Fox's quiet act of defiance became something else entirely, a moment of raw humanity that no one could edit, no matter how hard they tried.